Welcome to the Grace-Filled Food Freedom Podcast. In this podcast, you can expect to be inspired and equipped to ditch diets, eat well, and let your light shine. Every time you listen, you can expect practical tips straight from the Word of God that are going to get you on the road to food freedom today. Gooey bites of deliciousness that will make you shimmy in your seat because you know that God is speaking directly to you. Are you ready? All right, grab a fork. Let's dive in. Nancy asks today about food restrictions and how it fits into the grace-filled plate way of life. She says, I usually bring food with me so that in the event wherever I go, if there's nothing for me to eat, I can still eat. Seems like it makes me plan ahead a bit too much. Is that wise? If everyone else is having a brownie and I don't want to eat it, that seems to help me if I have something delicious too. Or is that making me think about food too much? If I don't have delicious food and everyone else is, then I walk away feeling cheated, which can lead to a binge later on. I'm looking for wisdom and balance. I don't want to walk out in fear that I won't have anything to eat. So is this planning and bringing my own food wise? And is it helping or is it hurting? How do I determine which it is? In these cases, it can often help to look at ourselves as we would a friend or a child who we're trying to help live in a nourishing, well cared for way, but we also don't want to create a hyper focused relationship on food. And so Nancy, I think the line often comes where it gives you peace or it steals your peace. We don't want to be in fear, right? God's perfect love casts out fear. And in this case, it would be the reminder, the question to ourselves, do I believe that God can help me figure out what to do if something unexpected comes up? Absolutely, yes. He knows where every CVS, every Starbucks, every Whole Foods is, where I could pop in and grab something that may work for me. And so having sort of contingency plans and planning ahead are totally fine. However, there comes a point where it sounds like it starts to become too much of a headache. And that's where we can maybe decide, I'm going to do this much, but I'm not going to go so far. For example, if I know something is going to happen, I know I'm going to be going somewhere, I might ask what they'll be serving. I might see what's available at their restaurant, and I may bring something along that's going to work for me if I can't find anything on the menu. And in that case, that seems really nice, like a nice thing to do for yourself. However, if we are always kind of trying to think of every stone to unturn, what if they have dessert and I feel deprived? What if they do this? What if they have bread and I can't do this? Or whatever, right? We can get kind of anxious. Do you even feel the anxiety in my voice when I'm thinking about that? Then we're probably making the food more important than the fellowship. There are so many delicious, amazing foods available, even for people with dietary restrictions. Let's say you have a plan, you go somewhere and they all of a sudden have this amazing brownie, as you said, but for some reason it doesn't fit within your dietary needs, right? The things that are best for your health. How we approach it and how we think about it is going to be really important. You can sit there and go, oh, I can't believe I forgot my brownie. Wow, that looks so good. Everybody else is having it. I can't believe I can't have it. I can't believe I forgot about it. And we're building a binge up right there. Like it is happening here. That is what it's like, this bubbling up, and then it has to be pushed down so we go home and eat, and it's a mess, right? Or we could sit there and go, oh, wow, that was really unexpected, but it's okay. You know what I'm gonna do? Tomorrow, I'm gonna make myself some black bean brownies and it'll be wonderful. And I'll be able to have them a couple of days and it's really going to be fine. Again, did you notice the change in my tone of voice, in my pace, in the intensity with which I was speaking to myself? That is what's going to set you up for success or failure. So if you're able to make plans with that peace-filled, relaxed, not panicked voice, it's probably a good thing. When we start going to the other side where it feels a little anxious and a little bit too much, then you may be breaching over to where it's requiring more thought than is necessary. But if I were you, I'd have a nice little container in my car with a pack of nuts, maybe some trail mix, maybe like a protein bar, things that you can grab at the last minute, and then knowing if there's a grocery store nearby or even like a convenience store, they often have things that you could supplement with if necessary. But ultimately, being led by your peace, not overreacting, not allowing hunger to panic you, and yet validating your feelings will allow you to enter those opportunities without feeling deprived.
This episode is brought to you by Classical Conversations. Looking to give your child a well-rounded education through a Christ-centered curriculum? Classical Conversations believes education is best experienced together. To find your community today, visit classicalconversations.com/Graceville.
Mandy asks, do you have any specific food or exercise guideline recommendations? I know a diet isn't what we're going for, but I think I flounder a bit with no guidelines at all. Is that something that can be found in your healthy habit planner? Excellent question, Mandy. I agree. There's sort of this balance, right? It's nice to have some structure, some idea of what we're doing, but then it becomes too much or too restrictive, and then it backfires. And then we don't do anything at all, or we kind of go off the other end. None of us lack information about what is a healthy thing to eat or what is a good way to move. In fact, we have too much information. We have too much conflicting information. And so one of the things that we cover in the Healthy Habit Planner is looking at our past experiences. And this would be a great exercise for you to do. In the past, in my dieting and exercise journey, what was good and what wasn't? See, we can look back and go, oh, it was all terrible, no good, rotten stuff. In reality, you might have had some little gems in there. For example, maybe you did Beachbody and it became too much, but you did like thinking ahead of time and having food prepped. You're like, it kind of worked, but then it didn't work. It became too much. But what worked about it? Probably wasn't the exact food plan. It probably wasn't the little containers. It was probably that you took some time on Sunday or Saturday to think about your next week's menu plan. Maybe you look back and you did keto or low carb and you're like, that was not sustainable, could never do it again. But man, something about it worked for me. Eating a few less carbohydrates actually made me feel really good. So rather than getting stuck in all or nothing thinking or the diet mindset, we can like glean little bits and say, I wonder if I moderated. I didn't say no carbs. I just said if I moderated, maybe swapped out a little bit of my rice for some veggies at dinner, maybe did a half a sandwich and had a piece of fruit instead. I wonder how that would make me feel because you have data about what worked for you. Maybe you did this exercise plan and, you felt so strong, but the commitment when you got sick was too much. And so you can look back at that and say, I really liked moving consistently, but an inflexible workout plan is not gonna go for me. And so what did you discover in those hypothetical situations? I kind of want to plan my food. I'd like to replace some of my carbohydrates with some veggies or produce, probably be pretty good. And I'd like to move somewhat consistently. Boom. You have your own personalized guideline. And we look at these habits and we pare them down. And this is what the Healthy Habit Planner will do. We pare them down into doable steps because even subtle things like this, if we were to say, okay, tomorrow I'm doing those 3 things, right? I'm planning, I'm moderating carbohydrates, and I'm exercising consistently. Even though they could seem like small-ish things, it could be too much to add to a busy schedule. So we start with the minimum effective dose. What can I do to get the needle moving forward and to create a placeholder of habits in my life? On Saturdays, I'm gonna plan just one dinner and maybe my breakfast. It's not really where you want to be in the end, but if you can start planning on Saturday, even if it's for like 2 minutes just to plan one meal, you've begun to create a habit. Maybe you want to start exercising consistently, but have like workouts that require a lot of time feel like too much. So you decide every night after dinner, I'm gonna walk for 10 minutes, or every morning when ideally in the future, I would like to work out like before or after a Bible time. I'm just gonna put on my sneakers, do a couple of squats or go for a quick walk. The purpose is to start to create that placeholder, that little spot in your routine that can grow in the future. And then you're building upon something that is going to make a really big difference. And yes, the Healthy Habit Planner will help you take the information you have and move forward. But if you're looking for like exercise kind of general guidelines or food kind of general guidelines, my opinion is that most of us will feel really good if we eat mostly real food most of the time. You like how that's kind of loose because most depends on where you were yesterday and where you'd like to go. So that would be the desired end result. What exactly that is composed of, what it's going to take you to get from A, where you are today, to B, where you want to go, could be any length of time. And it's going to be individualized to you. When it comes to movement, we're all going to feel pretty good if we get some movement in 5 days a week, including some cardiovascular exercise, maybe some running, maybe some walking, maybe some swimming, right? Whatever feels exciting and good to you. A little bit of strength training and stretching your muscles now and again. But whatever that looks like to you to get to that consistently is what matters most. And if you find it's yard work or it's playing pickleball, that is fantastic. You need to follow what you desire, what feels doable, what feels sustainable, and the thing we forget is appealing. And when you do those three things, you're going to find something that's really going to work for you.
Because when you bring the Lord into every area of your life, well, it changes everything. Oh, P.S. Have you ever been completely puzzled by your overeating? Like you knew what to do and then you ignored it all and you found yourself covered in cookie crumbs. Well, if you can relate, today's freebie is for you. It's the 10 reasons why you can't stop overeating freebie, and in it we'll break down the top 10 reasons why ladies struggle with eating too much. And then we won't just leave it there. We're gonna give you 10 solutions so that you can move forward in a purposeful and prayerful way. So you ready? All right, grab the link in the show notes below. Oh, just one more thing. I almost forgot to ask you. If you have just a couple of minutes, could you hop on over and rate and review the podcast? It turns out that they really, really value your opinion. So if you could let the world know how the Grace-Filled Food Freedom podcast has helped you, it will help you spread the message to other women who need hope in Jesus and food freedom through Christ. Well, it certainly was lovely to spend some time with you, sis. I hope that you're enjoying a taste of food freedom. Now, if you're looking for more of an entree, I'd love to officially invite you to my Platinum program. It's a 6-month deep dive, start to finish program that is going to immerse you in God's word and God's plan for food freedom. You can find out more at gracefilledplate.com/platinum. Be sure to check it out. I'll see you there.